So let us continue the Nash therapeutic study streak, and today will be a very short session because the remedies itself are very short. Welcome, Dr. Payal, and I think there will be Dr. Chandrasekhar on YouTube. So there are just two remedies which are of prime importance for every homeopath and which are related to the building blocks of the body, which is calcarea. And these are compounds of calcarea. So calcarea sulf and calcarea hypophosphorica, these are the two remedies which Dr. Nash takes up after hepar sulf in his book Nash Therapeutics, Leaders in Homeopathic Therapeutics by Nash. And let us see what Dr. Nash has to say in these two remedies, which are almost like, both covered in one page, but invaluable information which can take us long into understanding how we need to see through the eyes of Dr. Nash. Calcarea sulf, we all know it's one of the Schussler's tissue remedies, but Dr. Nash at that time was very new to these Schussler remedies, so he mentioned clearly that it is not well understood. And since he writes after Nepar sulf about Calcarea sulf, he tells that Calcarea sulf acts much along the lines like Hepar sulf. So then he goes on to tell that there is a specific case which he saw, and we all homeopaths should be thankful to Dr. Nash since this case has been put up by him, which is for today's time to give calcarea sulf in such a case would probably be unbelievable for homeopath. So it's a case of kidneys which Dr. Nash puts in the remedy calcarea sulf, and there was pain in the kidney day and night, and discharge of pus in the urine. Normally, we would think of any other nosode and etc. etc. And Dr. Nash here gave this patient calcarea sulf 12C potency. Patient improved and there was permanent recovery. This is an eye opener. The patient was weakened. He was diagnosed by Chicago doctor with the Bright's disease, which was the terminology for acute pyelonephritis or some similar conditions back then in 1900s. But with Calcarea sulf 12C, the patient immediately improved and permanent recovery was seen. So this is the magic that we see with these constitutional medicines, and we are struggling with new names of medicines and newer technologies, newer and newer methods, without understanding that the books that our stalwarts have mentioned are quite invaluable. And if you're not referring, you are missing out on something really great. A case of kidneys which has pus, the condition is deteriorating, Bright's disease. Dr. Nash prescribed Calcarea sulf 12C and the patient improved. It's an eye opener. And last but not the least, he finishes this remedy and he tells us that Dr. Nash found this as a good remedy in profuse suppuration in different kinds of cases. This is all I know about the remedy. Next, he goes to tell about the other remedy, which is Calcarea hypophosphorica, and he tells that he starts the remedy Calcarea hypophosphorica with a case of 8-year-old boy which has 4 or 5 abscess in the knee joint, and the bones were all eaten away, and there was rag necrosis, and all the relatives of the patient and Dr. Nash himself told that this is a case for a surgeon, not for me, but still I'll make him in a good condition to reach the level of the surgeon. And he prescribed Calcarea hypophosphorica in 1x potency, 1 grain a day. Can you believe it? And in a week's time, the patient improved, and the boy was driving the mom and the parents crazy throughout the house, running around. This is the magic of homeopathy. So, those who are attending, I don't know, Dr. Bharat has joined, Dr. Dhananjay Shinde, Dr. Sonal, Dr. Payal, and a few people on also on YouTube. you are attending something which is invaluable. And calcarea hypophosphorica is a remedy which, since then, after this case of abscesses in the knee, he gave it in all the large swellings where pus had formed. And this remedy, calcarea hypophosphorica, caused absorption of the pus, and it did not allow them to open up on the surface. Next case, the second case in the remedy calcarea hypophosphorica, Dr. Nash mentions, is a case of hip disease which was pronounced by all the specialists as ulcerations, and he gave calcarea hypophosphorica, which worked miraculously in such a case. And that's where Dr. Nash ends the remedy calcarea hypophosphorica, that there are different preparations of calcarea which are of undoubtedly great power, and we are failing to utilize their power because we are just stuck up on some polycrest, and for current age we are just stuck up on new methods without knowing the real good remedies mentioned by stalwarts. Two remedies which we saw today, calcarea sulf and calcarea hypophosphorica. Calcarea sulf, a case of kidney pus in the urine, Bright's disease, Dr. Nash gave calcarea sulf. A case of knee swelling with ulceration of bones, Dr. Nash gave calcarea hypophosphorica. These are the gems of real homeopathic practice which a homeopath should know, and not the new methods or new terminologies or new technologies which are, making the homeopath, interpret something which is not there in the case. So we end up today's talk. And if you are following Homeo Setu, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere on all social channels, you are going to learn homeopathy in a new way. So stay in touch.